What's up, YouTube fans? Today we're going to take a look at the Toyworld Skyburst, their version of a World War II Jetfire or Skyfire. So this is from the Last Night movie, and this ship is just insane. It's got a lot of detail on it. This was sent to me by Dr. Diecast. He sent me a whole box of these things, so I decided to look at these. It is a very, very, very fragile figure, so I'm going to be really careful. I think I'm actually going to end up transforming this off camera, but I saw a really good video out there, so I'll link it here in this video so you can go watch the transformation. But this thing is really, really delicate, so I want to be careful. I don't want to break anything, but look at the detail on this thing. You've got paint, you got weathering, you got the kind of the rust look. You got the rust over here coming down the side of the ship. You got the red weathering down here. Silver accents everywhere. The guns are all painted. I mean, you got the little, lifeboats here. Here are the propellers on the back. Here's the bottom. Pretty clean for what it is. I mean, it really is impressive. These guns actually move, so you can rotate these. I want to be very careful, but these do go up and down. They're very thin, very, very thin, so be careful with those. They all rotate. Just be careful. It's really easy to just knock those off. You get the control tower there. You got an antenna over here. More guns on the back that rotate. I mean, really a lot of detail on this thing. You do get a stand here. Really nice, kind of fancy stand. It looks like it has a spot to put something, but it doesn't actually say anything. Anyway, if you come to the bottom here, there's two little ports that you can plug it into. And let's plug that in. And that's a beautiful display. I mean, if you're getting these for alt mode, this is definitely a really cool way to display it. I thought maybe they'd give us a sticker or something to put here, but they didn't. So I'll check the box and make sure, but I don't think they did. But there's the ship, really cool looking. And for quick size comparison, there it is next to the Toyworld Silver Baron that I just reviewed. Obviously not to scale. It's just its own thing. I don't know. Toyworld doesn't seem to care about scale in this entire line. They do look good together. I'll say that. All of these figures just kind of fit together in terms of the timeline or the time period where it's from, but obviously not scaled. All right, now let's get this guy transformed into his robot mode. I am going to do this off camera. I do apologize. This is not my figure. This is from Dr. Diecast. I don't want to break it, so I'm going to do it off camera. I'll put a link right here so you can check out a pretty good transformation video on this guy. So we'll get him transformed. Be right back. And there is Skyburst in his robot mode. Yes, in case you didn't know, it is Jetfire, but the Bayverse Jetfire. So he's got the old beard. He's the old guy. He's got his walking stick here. He's got a lot of detail and weathering on him. All that little kind of rusted look, like he's from old war. You can rotate these. I just recommend extreme caution if you're going to, because your best bet is to have them facing up. Face them forward, you're more likely to snag yourself on this, so just leave it up and be careful. There are a lot of bits on this thing that you got to be careful of. So first of all, let's take a look at the head. You got the nice red eyes there, but you got these bits up here for the guns. You gotta just be careful with those. You can pose them, but just be careful. You got these bits down here. You got the metal piece back here for the antenna. You got this antenna back here. It does kind of fold away, but all of it is just, there's so many bits and pieces. You got to be careful. It is absolutely gorgeous, but you've got to be extremely cautious with this thing. Overall, pretty nice looking though. You got a lot of nice details and accents and paint. You can take the walking stick here. It's just tabbed in. It's a tab right there. Now you can take this piece here, and this will fit in his hand as well. There's a little peg right there. And if you want to have this little anchor weapon or whatever, that looks pretty nice. Or if you prefer, you can combine them back together. There's a little tab right here. Plug that in. And then you can hold the full weapon here. It's not the best weapon, but you can hold that as well. So, kind of neat. You get some options there. All right, let's take a look at this articulation. As I mentioned before, you can move the guns and the actual turret, the cannons can actually move up and down. The head is on kind of a weird joint, so you can rotate this way. The beard and side hair pieces can move, so the beard can move back and forth. And the head can move up and down. A little limited, but it does work. The shoulders here can go up to there, down to there. They rotate up to there and back to there. You have a rotation at the bicep, pretty tight joint there. You have a double joint elbow, gets you the full bend. For the wrist, you have a rotation here. Look at all the detail in there. You have 2 pins for the fingers, so you can bend them down, and the thumb is on a ball joint and a pin. So you can get some nice movement out of that. I don't believe there's a waist rotation or ab crunch here. If there is, I'm not going to push it because I don't know what this is capable of doing and I don't want to break it. But moving down, you have the legs rotate up to there. Actually, you can pretty much go all the way because of the way it's designed. Back to there, if you move this out of the way, you can get the leg up a little bit higher, but this knee starts to collide. So you can get it back to there. Out to the side, all of this is on friction. Everything's on pins, just like the other Toyworld figure we looked at. There's some loose things here and there. It's fine, but it's not great. This joint is really the loosest because all the weight is on that little ankle joint, so you can't really put a lot, and this walking stick is kind of necessary. He kind of needs the walking stick because otherwise he tends to be, a little bit unstable. He likes to fall backwards. Coming down to here, you do have, let's see, do you have ankle tilt? Yeah, not really. It's kind of a weird ankle tilt, so you can, I don't know. I don't even know if you have an ankle tilt, to be honest. It's just a weird thing. You can rotate this, and that can lead to ankle tilts, but it's just a strange joint. But there you go for his articulation. So final thoughts on the Toyworld Skyburst. Let's start with the positives. The paint and detail in both the ship mode and the robot mode is outstanding. As far as overall accessories, you do get just these 2 things and the stand here for the ship. All of those are done nicely. They work and they look good. I also think the head sculpt here is pretty darn good. But negatives wise, this figure is very, very expensive. It's $220 US retail. At that price point, I expect something's pretty big, and this is not that big. It's really, the smallest Jetfire I've reviewed, honestly. And if it's trying to be MP scale, it definitely didn't nail it. It's too small for MP scale. Now, Toyworld is kind of creating their own scale here. But at $220, I expect something really perfect, and this is not it. It's very, very fragile. You have to be very careful transforming it. Take your time. A lot of little bits that would easily break. I had to transform it off camera because I couldn't take the risk because it's not my figure. I didn't want to break anything. But I highly recommend, if you're going to transform it once into the mode you want it and leave it. So for this price point, I don't know if I can recommend this. It's just too expensive and just too breakable. But it is a cool thing if you're a big World War II fan and you like the ships or you just like the look of these Bay figures from the last night, then I think you'll enjoy this. So that's it for today. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.